Hopefully the stream is coming out strong and y'all can see me and everything looks good. I've and hopefully it's going to come through strong tonight with the signal. Sorry, I'm on here about 10 minutes late. I life has been pretty tough, and I don't mean to be here late. So, but I'm here now. So we're going to talk about, of course, new fragrance releases. We're going to talk about how our week went, what kind of fragrances we've been into. I saw somebody just pop in. How you doing today? It's me. It's Benjamin. It's Centaur Fragrance. It's yours truly here for you. Hope that you do like my setup. Hey there, Anthony Concepcion. How you doing? And hopefully I sound good. I have a whole new setup. I've been learning how to stream better and how to actually record indoors better. So hopefully this all looks good and sounds good. Anthony, how are you doing? What is your scent of the day? For me, I'm wearing Molecule 03, the eccentric molecule version. That's my scent of the day. It's very fresh. It's crisp. It has lime and ginger and has some really nice notes. I actually really like it. It's not talked about too much. The regular Molecule 03 scared a lot of people away. It was kind of heavy, kind of mature, kind of dank. And the 03, I think, is much better. So, no notes is in the house. Put the kettle on. I know. Did you like my little joke? Fragrance tea time. I never know what to call these, so I always have to think of a topic. I don't know if we'll talk about tea fragrances too much. But I did decide to drink some tea today. I got this mint blend. And I got really into teas fairly not too long ago. Lots and lots of teas. One brand y'all got to check out is Testia or Testia. It's like Tiesta. They have a mango pineapple one, and I got almost addicted to it. I ran through a whole full pound bag of that stuff. It's loose leaf tea. We'll talk about fragrances, but that stuff's great. Anthony says, scent of the night, Halloween Man Shot, my favorite from the line. That's really nice. I do need to try some more of those. Halloween Man X was a very pleasant surprise. One of the best affordable cheapy fragrances that I had tried in a long time. The coffee note that came off that fragrance for such an affordable fragrance, I was really impressed. And I think y'all saw my review of that one. I mean, that's a winner right there. And if the rest of the line, the Halloween Man line, is just as good, really underrated. The problem with them is I don't know how distributed they are. I mean, I don't even know where they sell those fragrances normally, besides if you can find it online, the Halloween Man fragrances. And then they got an odd name, so that might scare people away. But Halloween Man X is excellent for a mass appealing fragrance, and then it has coffee and some stuff thrown in. Man. So I see some people popping in. What's your scent of the day, everybody? Thanks for sharing, everybody who has so far. That's awesome. Jimmy. Oh, Ritz. Do you know? Have you been watching me? I did try some streaming, but I don't know if I'm going to do that too much. But I did play that or do that a little bit. I played a little bit of Vampire the Masquerade. I might try to do a little bit more of that in the future. I don't think my quality's that great. I've always want to improve, but I hope that y'all, if y'all do want to see some video game content, see me joking about, it's great. And I kind of feel like this is an evolution of myself. Streaming. This is what I kind of always wanted to do. If y'all didn't know, I actually streamed live for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And I kind of really liked that, but it's not really what YouTube wanted. And, everybody's busy. And but I do like twitching. So I might try. I don't know if I'm going to try to do fragrance twitching. I don't know. I don't think that would work. But video game wise, I was playing an old video game. You probably would never find me normally, but if you do want to see more of this face, I'm Jimmy Jim presently or currently. And I'm going to try to, I probably might change my name because there's some other Jimmy Jams. I don't know if they're inspired by what I was inspired by, but again, that comes from Muppet Treasure Island. It's a really funny scene, and I love the scene. I won't spoil it for you, but if you haven't seen good old Muppet Treasure Island, it was one of my favorite movies as a kid. And if you watch it, you'll know where the Jimmy Jam part comes from. It's pretty early in the movie as well, pretty kind of in the beginning. Let's get to the comments. Those no. It says I'm sampling 5 things at once. I smell like a hot mess. That's always fun when you do that. When you're trying and sampling a bunch of stuff. I try to avoid getting around people when I do that. Even if you're not a fragrance reviewer, you probably have done that a time or two where you've got excited with some new fragrances and wore a bunch of them. And I mean, maybe you should just go out and see what kind of reactions you get. I dig it. Oh, you do, Ritz. Were you watching? If you did, again, we won't talk about video games here. This is my fragrance channel, but I might try to do some more of that in the future. Streaming, it's something I actually really, really like. I like having conversations and doing something, and I do it all the time if I could. I do it all the time, and I actually like it more than fragrance. I love fragrance reviewing. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of like it more than fragrance reviewing. And I kind of felt like I've put my 2 cents in. I've been reviewing for what 2+ years now. I actually noticed today that I'm creeping up on 800 fragrance reviews. Not trying to brag about myself, guys, ladies and gents watching, but 800 fragrance reviews is pretty serious, or 800 YouTube videos in general is pretty serious. There's people who have been around for a very long time. I'm not saying fragrance reviewers. There's some fragrance reviewers that have more than me. Just in general, though, there's some big people on YouTube, and they've been around for a lot longer than 2 years, and they haven't even put out. Some of them have put out less than 200, 2 or 300, and anyways, so been on the grind, my friends. If y'all know, I went for almost a year straight, like with almost a video every day, and now I've been doing like 3 videos a week. So let's see. Oh yeah, I only do that at home. Yeah, doing the testing, going outside. Yeah, testing a bunch of random fragrances is kind of crazy. That's for sure. Also, one of them is Burning Ben. Oh yes, is that from Strangers Perfumery? I did get to try that one. I like your sense of humor over there, my friend. With Strangers Perfumery, did you try what was that called? Scottish Pete. Again, I have some Irish Welsh blood supposedly. I do seem to like Scotland. I haven't visited Scotland. I don't know if they would dislike me or I would dislike them, but I hope that we would be friends. And I tend to like Scottish things. There's Scottish lavender fragrances and that Scottish peat, and I really like it. I don't know why I like it so much. If you want like an intense fragrance that's almost patchouli like, but it's different. It's not the same. Scottish peat might be your thing. If you like rich, like those earthy, like boozy, earthy fragrances, try Scottish peat. Peat. It's great. And if peat is again a dry, dark moss, rich, earthy moss. Really good fragrance, I thought. Yes, Strangers. It's amazing. I actually just ordered a bottle. Was that your favorite Snows Nose No Notes from the collection, the Burning Ben? I need to revisit that one. But I remember it's pretty darn good. It was a good one, smoky one, of course. Scent of the day is Chanel Pour Monsieur EDP. Happy that you're wearing that fragrance, Ronald. That is a blast from the past. One of the best, in my opinion, Fougere fragrances that was ever made. Up there with like Italian Cypress from Tom Ford. That's one of the best out there, and Anateus as well. I don't know why it's so underrated. I know that it's only sold, I think, through their website, through online sales. It's not something you'd probably find even at the local mall anymore. And I heard that I think it was discontinued, sadly, for like a little while, and then they brought it back. So I'm not sure why that is, but it's a good one. It's really good. No note says, I've only tried salted green mango besides this one, but I ordered some other samples. Absolutely. Stranger's Perfumery has some great fragrances. They're certainly worth trying. If y'all haven't tried them yet, or the House of Electimus, there's some good houses that kind of underrated. I don't know if which one is newer, but they're fairly new. But there's some new houses. Like I've only tried like 2 of the Argos. There's some that's a new house, and they got some good stuff too, it seems. So Ultra Super is in the house. The salted green mango is great. If y'all are looking for a salty, unique, fresh fragrance that's not overtly aquatic, that's got a sour green mango, I do have a sample of that. I'm going to try to get the review out for y'all of that one. It's an excellent fragrance. And I saw some hype for it about a year ago. Haven't seen too many people talk about it recently. But salted green mango, I can see why they hyped it. It's pretty good, especially as far as fresh fragrances go. Ultra Supra says, "Howdy, Ben. Good to see you. Howdy doody to you." I tip my hat to you, but I don't have a hat on. So, Ultra Super says, "How do you check out all the fragrances? Do you buy samples?" I do. Every once in a while, somebody who watches, somebody who supports the channel will be generous and send me some samples. like, and sometimes other fragrance reviewers, that doesn't happen too often. And I gave her some shout outs on my Instagram, but shout out to Moody Boo Fragrance Reviews, wonderful lady. She sent me a bunch of samples by. Definitely check her out. There's some cool people in the FragCom, and but I mostly buy them. And whenever I buy a niche bottle of fragrance, you usually get about 2 or 3 complimentary samples. And then what I'll do is sometimes, but if there's anything that really interests me, I'll make sure to buy a couple more samples. There have been a time or two where I've bought like $100 worth of samples. I haven't done that in a while. I know it's worth it to explore fragrances, and if you're passionate about fragrances, it's kind of worth it. But I don't know if I don't absolutely love the fragrance, I'd rather give it away. So then it gets really expensive. You know, if it's even if it's a good fragrance, I'm going to give it away unless I'm crazy about it. So that's kind of how it works. But trust me, guys, I already have like 40 videos recorded for you guys, and I have tons more. I got like a bag of samples here. I could show y'all. I still have like 100 fragrances to go. I'm trying to, kind of clean up my space, not have so many samples. And then again, after that, I'm still going to try and review things, but hopefully I'll get them in discovery sets where I can keep them more organized. I kind of want in the future in my head to focus on discovery sets. Buying samples can be pretty expensive. Oh yes, it adds up really quick, and it really depends on what you want to do. You don't have to buy samples if you don't want to. Again, if you live in a bigger city or if you ever travel, I do recommend that you actually go to the boutique, make some friendships, smell a bunch of things, and actually give your business to those good people at the boutiques, and they're trying to survive and too. So that's what I would do. I don't live in a big city, and I don't have access to any boutiques or niche. I've actually never walked into a niche boutique of fragrances in my entire life. And if I did, I would smell up everything. I remember a couple times I went to the mall. I smelled everything, and one time I asked I guess the counter lady, the sales lady. I don't even know the right word. But I said, "Can I smell the ladies' fragrances or the fragrances?" And she thought I was strange because people around here, if they're a guy, they don't do that. Every once in a while, a guy might ask like, "What's a fragrance I should buy for my girlfriend or wife or something?" But guys generally don't try to smell everything or like actually wear them. So that was a pretty funny experience or reaction that I got. So Ultra Super says just paid like $15 for 2 ml sample of Xerjoff Neo. Neo is pretty nice. Some people really love it. It certainly is a really good citrus. I didn't get the longevity I wanted out of it, but it is a nice fresh fragrance. I guess it depends on your budget. Again, talking about fresh fragrances, I guess this is a good topic to get into because we're getting into the summer months. Yesterday actually hit 90 degrees Fahrenheit for me where I live. So it's getting pretty hot and pretty toasty. Again, let me know. You don't have to let me know where you live if you don't want to, but let me know. Is it hot for you right now, depending on where you live? So, anyways, yeah, samples can get really expensive for 2 mils. That's a lot of money. Samples can get to $15 for a mil or two, or even more. I know a lot of people hate the daubers. But I kind of suffered through to save money. That's kind of what I've been going for. So if you go on Lucky Scent, you can get like zero 0.4 of a mil. So you get a smaller amount and a dauber, and you like wipe a little bit on your skin or on a card. And I know some people really hate that, but it's a lot more cost effective. A normal, even some niche fragrances, you can because it's only 0.4 of a mil, like 40% of a mil, which is not very much, but it's about $4 or so. But there's 4 mils of some stuff that costs as much as 20. So there's terribly expensive niche out there. So, but it still helps you save a little bit at least. So most of the time, samples are actually cheaper through the brand. That's true. Yeah, it's sometimes best to buy directly through the website, and do kind of look and pay attention because sometimes discovery sets you'll save a little bit if you bought like a discovery set with like 5 samples, and it ends up being $35 where you're paying $6 or $7 a sample. It's more expensive if you bought it individually, where they might charge you $8.99 or something funny like that, and then you save on the shipping. But that's that's one reason I'm trying to go to discovery sets in the future, and because I kind of want to do some more overviews of like houses and brands for you wonderful people. Do a whole overview of the house. I mean, I'll do individual fragrance reviews still in the future, and I'm not trying to get away from those. But I do know that people do want the overviews of the entire house, because if they're looking at the house, they want to know which ones they might connect to, which fragrances look the best from the house, which ones should they try. So I think that'd be a good way to go. But let's see here. I like Xerjoff in 530 mil. Is that 30? Oh, no, samples. That's 5 for 30. Sorry. They do have where you can buy like 3 fragrances together, like a trio. But I was asking if they did 5. I haven't seen them do 5. That'd be terribly expensive still, even if you saved a little bit. With Xerjoff, I want to see how much that would cost. Xerjoffs are really expensive. Let's see, 5 for 30. Yeah, save a little bit. I think I've seen some deals with Mansara, and Montal. You can get them on discounters usually and save a lot. But if you did want to buy from a legit source directly from them, so I forget what the size are. That they'll throw you a mini bottle sometimes in for free. So. Let's see here. First warm day today of South England, 20 degrees. That's Celsius. I'm not sure what 20 degrees Celsius is. I might have to Google that. I'm trying. I need to get better instantly in my head with that. I do need to do better about that. So let's see here if I can't figure it out. So 20 degrees Celsius to. Let's go. So anyways, I'm waiting for this to load. You could just tell me if you know. So I don't want to bore y'all. So anyways, let's look at the comments. I finally tried Ani, pitted against Eros and Blue. Bleu de Chanel. Those are nice. Nice fragrances. Which one did you like the best? Are you blending those, or are they just a competition? Those are some good fragrances. I'm curious to see which one you like the best. Like a top 3? Yeah, I was curious too. Like when I was talking about top list and top content, I meant like if I overviewed a house, I could tell y'all which ones I like the best and which compared to each one's like what were the best from the house, and maybe like which fragrances would suit a certain type of person or suit a certain type of occasion. Because there's like Joe Malone. I'm going to do that in the future for Joe Malone for sure. I have samples for that. Zoologist, and there's another brand. I'm trying to remember what it was off the top of my head. Zoologist, Joe Malone. I think it was Imaginary Authors. I think that's the one as well, where I have most of the fragrances from samples, and I've smelled most of them, so I can give y'all an over brand at one time. I wish I had all the money in the world to buy the whole collection so I could show y'all every single bottle, but I simply can't financially do that. Maybe one day, just for the fun of it, to be able to review and or have a show y'all every fragrance, every bottle. Maybe one day. But Ani was receiving the best one. Yeah, Ani is a big compliment getter. Ani's gorgeous. It's very wearable. I love the ambergris. I feel it is a wonderful vanilla fragrance, and I feel like so many people focus on the vanilla, and it is a great fragrance, and it performs. It performs well too. So, did I answer your question, Ultra Super, or was my thinking completely off? Orlando 2 S2K says Ani has a weird smell. Rather say a noose is unstable. It tells me. Let me know if the connection still looks good. I see I've lost 12 people. I'm down to 12. Sorry about that. Are y'all still here? Did I scare people away? I'm sorry if my connection's bad. I'm trying to get better internet. Again, I'm trying to get a better living situation. So I'm sorry about my connection here if that bothered y'all. Oh, okay. Some people came back. We're strong. We're still good. Okay, so sorry about the connection, guys. I'm trying to get into a better living situation and get on my feet. Again, y'all know I'm trying to build a soap company, so we got to get that going. See here, I smell like a vanilla and baby food, baby food bottles, spiced pepper. Oh no, that's. I don't really get the baby food smell, but I don't know how I describe it. I could see maybe where you get like a slightly maybe fermented quality, but I think anise smells pretty clean overall. It comes together really good. It must be the ambergris. It must be the ambergris adding a little bit of its salty, almost. It's not an animal. The animalics don't come through very much to me at all in Ishanese ani, but maybe that's what's coming out for you. Not really sure. I like ani. Yeah, I love ani. Ani's great. I can see why it was hyped. I like it. Yes, Orlando. Ultra Super says ani is nice, but I prefer Parfums de Marley's Leighton. Yeah, I do feel that way. I think a lot of guys are going to probably prefer the Leighton. They're both great, but I do think men or guys are going to prefer the Leighton, and I do think ladies would prefer the Ani. Both are very unisex. I definitely could see a lady wearing Leighton or a guy wearing Ani, and I see people do that all the time. But Ani to me, yeah, I definitely agree. Baccarat Rouge 540 was another one of those that was very unisex, but also I thought that maybe ladies would like it more. It's funny. Do y'all feel the same way? The Baccarat Rouge 540, the X-Straight, I thought the X-Straight was actually better, and I liked that it was actually more feminine. Some people don't like that opinion. There were a lot of people who didn't like the X-Straight and didn't like my opinion, but that's definitely one that I had. Dua Blend Drowning in Cherry Casino. I have not tried that fragrance yet. That must be another one of their fusions? Must have to be something to do with cherry on top from Tom Ford's and blending it with maybe tuxedo. Sounds good though. Sounds fun. Dua does have some fun combos. They have that Italian Italiano Pommes, and that is on the buy list. I probably will buy that, even though I've been slowing down the collection and buying anything recently. That is on the buy list, and definitely will be getting that. It's a gorgeous gourmand. Bragging About Frag says, hey, good to see you, Bragging About Frag. Good to see everybody pop in. We're back up to 16. Thank you all for popping in. Sorry about my connection. Sorry that I scared some of you all away. Hopefully my audio is coming through strong. I did play around with that. Hoping that sounds good. Hey, nice. Good to see you, Melisa Womo. Have not tried that one, Melisa. Not too familiar with it, but maybe I'll look into it. Ultra Super says, hey, it keeps lagging, Ben. I'm sorry about that. I'm using a really unstable internet connection right now, and I'm trying to get into a better situation in life where I can have really fast internet. So if y'all have any advice, you can message me on Instagram on what you would do if you were like right out of college or trying to get your first home or make a better life for yourself. If you have any advice for me, feel free because I'm trying to improve my life. Yeah, the connection's bad. Sorry. Present, good to see you, Orlando. How's life? How's it treating you? What's good? I do appreciate that people are popping in though, even though my connection's not so good. Orlando says, if I had to buy Ani again, I would buy. Okay, so you think it's worth the repurchase? You think it's worth buying over and over? That's a testament to how good it is. To me, 540 is definitely feminine. I definitely feel that way. Ultra Super. I feel that way about it. Orlando says Tom Ford Lost Cherry smells amazing, but I feel like it would have to layer it with other fragrances. I do kind of agree. Tom Ford's Lost Cherry does feel like it needs a little bit more body or complexity to it, and it doesn't last the longest. It is a really nice fragrance you could layer. If you have something you like that's leathery or woody in the dry down, it would blend very well with Lost Cherry. And that's one reason I didn't talk about Lost Cherry very much. I do think it's a really nice fragrance. I just feel like it didn't last long enough as it should. It kind of falls a little bit apart, not terribly. I mean, it's still composed decently, but it doesn't have much in the dry down going for it. And I don't know. The Tom Ford private blends, a lot of them are too expensive, I think. Again, I mean, I guess I can't judge too much. I don't know exactly the ingredients and the quality of the ingredients going into Tom Ford, but it doesn't seem like they're using really rare, really expensive ingredients. At least they don't tell us that they do. I don't know. Maybe they could be using really high quality ingredients. I don't know. They don't talk up on their quality. They don't tell us that. And I don't know. And their fragrances are, they're up there. They're not the most expensive niche, but Paul says, have you ever gotten your nose on Sarah Jessica Parker's stash? I did not. I actually heard about it once the hype was there. I think it's actually isn't it discontinued now? It was probably expensive, but I know I heard a lot of people really like that one, that it was unisex. and I heard a lot of people jumped on it. I probably should have. Maybe I'll regret it one of these days, but I just never got it. Like Moschino Toy Boy, I don't know if I'm going to run with it. Again, I I wish I had tons of money just to throw at things. I usually only risk my money if I think I'm going to really like it and fall in love with it. So that looked like a risky purchase, but a lot of people loved it and heard it was an excellent celebrity fragrances. Sometimes those happen. Sometimes celebrity fragrances will sneak up on you and they'll actually be really, really good, especially once they hit discounters. Lady Gaga, I think that's how you say it, was one of those. It's more powdery. I do think some guys could pull it off, but it was more of like a powdery violet fragrance, and I was really surprised by that fragrance as well. Very impressive quality for the money, for what it was. Paul says, "Have you ever gotten your nose on?" I read that. Gam says, "Hey, buddy, what's going on? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Hopefully, the audio and everything's coming through strong. Hope that you're doing all right out there, my friends. Having a beautiful weekend, taking it easy, maybe cooking up something good. I'm doing pretty good over here. We're just talking fragrance. We're just chopping it up, I guess they say. Just I'm saying dumb lingo, but what's up, buddy? What are you doing, man? I'm doing good, doing good. Dimitri, just tried a sample of Roja. That's not Roja. They say Roger Dove. Roger Elysium today. I feel like $1,000,000. It is a nice fragrance. It is nice. It's very mass appealing. It's a big top seller. I'm not exactly sure, but I remember hearing it at like Beverly Hills Perfumery. I've watched some people do like interviews and walk in their store and some places like that. It could have been them or it could have been a different boutique, but it was like their most best selling fragrance for men, and maybe they're one of their best selling fragrance at the time in their entire store. So Elysium does fly off the shelves. It's a very mass appealing blue fragrance. Again, I do feel like it has a little inspiration of a Ventus on the top. Not trying to take away from it, but Elysium, it's mass appealing and it works, and that's what most people care about. Some people aren't going to be like a fragrance critic and might sit back here like me and be like, the opening reminds me a little bit of a Ventus, and the dry down reminds me of Blue de Chanel, and I don't feel like it's a terribly original fragrance, but it works and it smells great, and that's what people care about. So, yeah, not trying to take away from Elysium. I know some people really like it. About the only thing I guess I could say against it is that it should last longer. It's kind of a 6-7 hour fragrance, and when you're paying that kind of money, I kind of expected better performance out of it. It's funny, the extrait smells more pineapple-y, but it doesn't last too much longer. It's the funny thing. It's fresher and it does last a little bit longer, which is an achievement or an improvement, I suppose. But it doesn't. It's not exactly the same, and it's even more expensive. So that's another funny situation. I should probably make a review about that. I don't think I've actually made a review of the Elysium extrait yet, but let's see here. Yeah, that's another thing. Ultra Super saying the high price is the biggest advertisement up for Tom Ford, in my opinion. Higher prices also tend to attract customer. Absolutely. Like Killian, again, not trying to beat down these brands. Killian's made some wonderful things. Like I think Intoxicated's great. Apple Brandy was a real winner. They have a couple of them that are pretty bang on fragrances, as they say. But yeah, if you charge higher prices, people assume that it's higher quality, and people will not only will they assume that, but they'll kind of justify it. It might not even be that much better, but in their head, because it's in a special bottle and it's from a special brand, they'll kind of justify it. So again, not trying to luxury brands. I mean, they're definitely luxurious. There is some better quality, but again, me as a fragrance reviewer, that's one of the reasons I started a fragrance channel, and that's one thing I wish more fragrance reviewers would do is try to evaluate and almost critique brands, trying to figure out if they're giving you a good value for your money. And again, the more you pay, the less you get for your money, but you do get more. But you get less and less, further along the more you pay. So is Killian better quality than a designer, Tom Ford, or big brand? Probably. Sometimes no. Sometimes there's some bad brands out there, but most of the time, yeah, it's better. But is it that much better? Is it worth it? That's what we I try to talk about. So good thoughts there, my friend Ultra Supra. Yeah, do y'all like that advertising though? Just because it's luxury, it's worth it. Just because it's luxury, and I guess wanting to wear something that suits you because you're wealthy or want to feel luxurious. Is that something that appeals to you as a customer? For me, I don't know. When I wear a fragrance, I don't think of myself wearing a silky black silk suit. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that works for me. I kind of like hearing people talk about the quality and the art. I guess you could say that went into the fragrance, the effort, and the creativity. But let's see here. Orlando says I met a kid at college that used to wear Effing Fabulous by Tom Ford to be able to wear a fragrance like that at college. When I got into fragrances at college, I was wearing the cheapies, man. I was wearing that Perry Ellis Red, that 360 Red. It smells like Aqua de Gio, but a little bit spicy, as they say. And I was wearing that up. That was a good experience. That was my cheapy days before I started actually fragrance reviewing, kind of actually in college. And that's why I talk up Versace's Dylan Blue and Invictus, because they worked great then, and they still work pretty darn good now. So. Um, but it's pretty crazy. Uh, some people feel differently about wearing expensive fragrances casually. Some fragrances feel fancy for the occasion, but even if it's more of a casual feeling fragrance, that's one reason I have a hard time with aquatics. Like fresh citrusy fragrances, there's lots of really good designer fresh fragrances. I mean, to me, it to my head, my mind. It's hard to justify like a Maison Francis Curtijan, or some people say I say it wrong, Curtijan, for like 200 250 bucks for a higher quality citrus. Um, for me, I want like really high quality, but it's got to be more complex and different and smell different and do something. I don't know. How do y'all feel the same way? I know those Maison Francis Kurkdjian fragrances are popular, and they're coming out with the cologne versions. Some of you are probably going to get your nose on those soon in the future. They're kind of copying Roger Dove. They're doing cologne versions of all their already citrusy fresh fragrances. Those are probably their money makers, and that's what people like. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know how to say what else to say about that. Anyways, you were saying Orlando, but you remember it used to last 13 plus hours. He also mentioned opulent. How do you say that? Shaik 77. I have seen. I think Cuba Knows or somebody talked about that fragrance once. I've been tempted to buy it. It does look really good, but 13 hours. Maybe they reformulated it. I don't know. I've heard some rumors about certain fragrances, but I wouldn't be amazed if they've done that. Yeah, 13 hours. If Tom Ford had that kind of performance, I think I'd probably judge them a lot better if a lot of their newer fragrances don't perform that way. So I want to try Dua Pour Homme. Then I'm done with them. Are done with Dua or done with fragrances in general? Again, I'm not done with fragrances in general. I'll still smell things. I'll probably get a discovery set when I can. But I'm definitely going to slow down here in the future. Who knows? With my fragrance reviewing, who knows what's going to happen in 6 months with my fragrance review? We'll see what happens. Let's see. The only thing that sucks about Elysium, yeah, is the performance. Yeah, it only lasts like 6 or 7 hours, and it doesn't even. It might hold on for 6 hours or so, but it doesn't even project that much. So, yeah, that's ultra. You're right, ultra super. Absolutely, you're right. Dimitri, Temples in the house says, "Have you tried any zoologists?" Absolutely, I have, and that's why I was talking about doing that overview of the house. I have samples of almost every fragrance. I think there's one or two I don't have, but I have almost the entire range, and getting samples or those decants for the entire range of zoologists. I think I'm missing the three new ones, the three newest releases. Anyways, that's like 150 bucks or more. What are they, like 3 mil samples? Just remember, if you do buy the discovery set of a bunch of their fragrances, it's expensive. But yeah, zoologists are nice. I was actually impressed by Squid. I actually, at the back of my head, almost wanted to dislike it because I knew everybody liked it so much. I didn't feel that way about B, like I wanted to dislike it, but B didn't have. It was kind of the same thing. He's seen what people have liked. I've smelled some of his earlier releases, like his when he first came out with Panda and Bat and things like that, and he's seen what people have liked, and he's changed his style a little bit. We'll have to see what he does in the future. but it's very mass appealing off the top, and it's really really nice and likable. And then it transitions. It's a little bit more relaxing and it doesn't become very complex, and there's not a lot of nuances in the dry down. So B does that, and Squid is actually also really good. It would be great if you want like a complex fragrance. And I know that it has some unique notes, and I know he probably would not appreciate me saying this, and I probably shouldn't spoil my review, but I guess I'll tell y'all now. Squid reminds me of a couple fragrances. Actually, it reminds me of Prada Luna Rosa Carbon, and some fragrances that have that darker element. It's not the same fragrance. It smells more similar to the Prada, but it could also slightly remind you of Acqua di Gio Profumo. So it's, zoologist squid is nice and the quality is great. And I would, if I had the money, I mean, I'd love to wear that casually. I'd love to wear it anytime. But yeah, it depends on what you like. So let's see here. Let me catch up with the comments. So great thoughts. Thank y'all so much for your thoughts. Some good things. With zoologist, I personally I saw some people not like it, but Dragonfly is actually very unisex, versatile, kind of aldehydic fragrance. I actually was really impressed by Dragonfly. Chameleon is probably a darn masterpiece. So I'm not trying to beat up on zoologists. Chameleon is one of their best. And if you're looking for a unique, fresh fragrance this summer, please give Chameleon a chance. And if you're looking for something in the fall that might slightly introduce you to animalics and leather, if you're not too familiar with leather, Camel is also a really good way to go. I've seen some people where they think Camel's daring. So if you've never tried any niche, Camel could be a little bit tough for you. But I think it's in that sweet spot for people who like niche. It's wearable, but it's got a little bit of intrigue to it. So Camel's really nice. Anyways, we'll stop talking about zoologist. Let's jump on to the rest of the comments. Orlando says, but the new Tom Ford batches don't last very long. I completely agree. I don't know if he's changed his style or if the brand has just decided to do that. If it saves them money, or maybe they've tested, or with some people, they've tested the fragrance, and maybe some people prefer the lighter, fresher fragrances. And I criticize the ladies, but just about any time you see a lady test a fragrance on a piece of paper or something, they seem to put that fragrance right into their nose, and then they say the fragrance is too strong. But again, when you wear a fragrance on your skin, when you're walking around, the fragrance is in the air. It's kind of a whole different experience. So, anyways, let's catch up with the comments. The new Tom Ford batches. Anyways, no. It says, in my opinion, Tom Ford cheaper line. You like the cheaper line? Yeah, they do have some really good ones. They have the ombre leather. I still need to really get a bottle of it, but they put the Costa Azura in that line. I really like, so that could be also a really good fresh fragrance. I've seen some people say that performance is not where they want it with the new Costa Azura, but you might want to check it out from the Tom Ford. It's still a pretty new release, and not everybody's talking about it. I really love the original. Costa Azura was one of Tom Ford's best, so I'm hoping that the new version is just as good. So, Google Michael Blankley perfume collection. Crazy millionaire then mentioned he would wear this to wash his car, to cut the lawn, or to a business meeting. Very unique video. I think I heard somebody talk about that, and I watched a couple seconds of it, and it was kind of cheesy. It almost reminded me of like I don't know if it's say 70s, but like a 60s. Have you ever watched those? It's like 60s movies where they like show somebody who's really rich, and it's kind of like cheesy, and they're joking around, and I kind of gave me that impression. I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not sure which fragrance are you referring to, a specific fragrance? But I might have to remind myself of that. There's some funny stuff out there. You'll never know. There's actually a song that's named like fragrance or perfume. I found through Instagram one time. There's funny stuff out there, and the song is terrible. I think it's terrible. But Petite Matin says Maison Francis Courageon is the hidden star of a Petite Matin. Okay, I probably smelled it. I need to revisit it. Some people really like the house. I don't want to beat them up, but Oud Satin Mood is as good as people say. It's very sweet though. It is of a very jammy rose, but and they have the Amber Absolute, but I don't know. They have a couple winners. I'd have to refresh my memory, but it's another one of those houses where I'm like, they got one or two. They got a couple winners, but some people go crazy about the house, like Killian. And I'm just like, I don't know. I wouldn't buy the whole collection, but it says, love my Sheikh Shaikh number 77. Glad that you do to me, Dimitri. Do you recommend it to me? What's it like? Tell us more. Orlando says, Alexandra or Adua? I don't know which one. I'd say that I've tested. I don't know. I've tried both, about the same number of fragrances of both, and I think I've liked more fragrances from Alexandria. But like the one fragrance that I've really liked from Dua, and I probably would like one of those fragrances that are like a hybrid of Tuxedo. I probably would like one of those if I tried them all, but there's a lot of them. I haven't went for them yet. But that Italian Pommeau blew me away. So that was a great one. So Alexandra, they have some good ones, some pros and cons, but they're both pretty nice. They're both pretty nice. For me personally, unless it's a really expensive niche fragrance, or if the performance isn't really good on the niche fragrance, I usually go for the real niche fragrance and try to save my money. Some people really like saving the money and the clones, and maybe you're not that picky with your nose, so maybe you don't want to, or don't care to, or you don't think there's much of a difference. I respect that. But I usually try to go for the real thing. When they start doing these hybrid fragrances, that's really, really fun. And I think that gets people talking about, something like, what if it's kind of like the fragrances blended together, and then the perfumer can kind of be creative with in the heart of the fragrance and switch it up a little bit. I think that's a really good direction, and I've seen, I think that's Dua who's been doing more of that, and that's been a big success for them. But both have some really good fragrances, so you got to find the right ones though that work for you, and that's the thing. Somebody might have smelled a niche fragrance that they really like, and they want it cheaper, so then they blind buy one of these fragrances. You probably still need to get samples, because you might like it, you might not like it. But anyways, not trying to beat up on them. Ultra Super says Tom Ford is now basically Estee Lauder, so of course they know a thing or two about the market luxury liquids. That's true. When did they acquire them? I know Estee Lauder is like one of those big umbrella companies, and they seem to have bought like almost everything. See, here is Shake 77 like Dimitri. I'm not really sure about that. I haven't heard anybody say that. But Tammy's in the house. Tammy, so good to see you, Tammy. Tammy Orada is in the house, a friend from Instagram. Wonderful lady. There's a bunch of cool people on Instagram. And again, that reminded me, check out my Instagram. I post there every day as well, sometimes 2 times, maybe if you're lucky, 3 times a day on Instagram. So if y'all think that that I'm not that proactive, or if I don't do a lot, I'm trying to keep up a whole bunch of platforms. So I'm juggling a lot of different balls or things. Y'all, I know somebody's going to make some kind of ball comment, but yeah, it's there's a lot of content that I'm making out there. Definitely check it out. Let's see here. Dimitri says it's been years since I got my nose on Joop. So honestly, I couldn't say, but it's really happy that the Sheikh Shaikh number 70 you like the 70 and the 77. So I think I've heard about the 70. I haven't heard much about the 70. You'll have to tell me about those. I don't know much about them. Let's see here. Maison French Kurjan isn't a niche in the strictest sense either, because it's owned by LVMH, a gigantic conglomerate. Again, that's kind of how I felt about it. It's another one of those brands that market themselves as luxury, and they might be making a stealing. They might be making out like a bandit. And I don't know if the quality is there in some of their fragrances, at least. I don't know if they're worth it. Eric S. says all the houses copy each other anyway. Yeah, it's true. A lot of the brands are doing that. Designer houses are copying each other these days. Y'all know about Bleu de Chanel and all the Invictus business. Everybody copying Aqua de Gio, Invictus, Blue de Chanel, all that stuff. And there's more. Dolce Gabbana, the one was pretty copycatted. Tom Ford, Tuscan Leather was copycatted big time for a while. There's a lot. So Maison Franche Kurji is totally not worth the money. I kind of struggle with them. I do wish them the best. They have one of their citrus fresh fragrances that has more of an ambery dry down. It could be the Petite Matin. I'd have to double check on that, but they do have a couple that are pretty nice. But yeah, for the most part, I'm not with them. Orlando says, I want Chanel Allure Homme Extreme. What is similar? Some people compare it to some blue fragrances. It kind of smells that way, but it has a powdery tonka, so it almost goes like a powdery, fresh, almost like an almondy kind of thing going on in the dry down, and it makes it kind of cloudy. And it's a big compliment getter. A lot of people love the Allure Eau Extreme, and a lot of people have talked about it as a big compliment getter, and it really is a big compliment getter. So, good fragrance. I don't know if there's anything that's exactly the same. It does follow the kind of the mass appealing blue trend a little while, but especially in the dry down, you can kind of notice that it becomes that cloudy kind of powdery kind of thing comes out with the lots and lots of tonka. It is fairly sweet, but I don't think it's super duper sweet. At least I guess compared to the super sweet fragrances of today. When it came out, it was considered pretty sweet, but not so much anymore. But definitely give it a go. Again, it might be expensive for what it is, but it works. It's attractive. I don't know why. It's another one of those fragrances that the ladies are crazy about. I'm happy that the word got out on that one. Not everybody's talked about it, but some big perfumers have talked about it after I kind of encouraged or invited bigger fragrance reviewers to do so. The Tom Ford Noir Extreme is also another one of those fragrances that people just love, especially the ladies. So it's unisex too. I'd like to see ladies wear it and get the guys. So let's see here. Personally, I don't mind buying good clones. I go for the scent, not for the brand. Yeah, I won't get into the clone debate and all that stuff. I won't get too much into that. Some people are very passionate on one aisle or the other. For me, I go for what I think is the best fragrance for the value, what smells the best. I do think giving credit to the original maker of the fragrance is the best way to go. But if they've reformulated it and kind of weakened it, or if it wasn't exactly the way I wanted the fragrance to begin with, I mean, I don't mind if somebody puts a twist on it. So I usually don't get too offended, but my money usually goes to the original. So Orlando says, what are your top 3 go-tos for life? I probably should make a video about that. Is that another funny top video that you would like to see? But 3 fragrance go-tos. Y'all know that I'm a big fan of Jubilation 25. Go-tos, when you say that, it makes me think of fragrances that are versatile. It makes me think of fragrances that I want to wear anywhere, anytime. And Jubilation 25 is one of those. Some people struggle with it. I personally could wear it anywhere, anytime, just about. Maybe not so much in the high heat. I don't know. I'm just looking at my collection over there. There's a lot of things that I really wear. But Sensation by Versatile, also unique. That's definitely my style. Is Rivellare from Fragranza. So those are fragrances that not everybody knows about. Not everybody might not like as much as I do, but they get me lots of positive attention, and they work on my skin, and they work magic for me. So sorry, y'all might not know those fragrances so much or be familiar with them, but I kind of like having fragrances personally in my collection. That's what I try to go for. I try to find something that I like that really works for me, good value, or maybe not everybody knows about. So it makes you feel a little bit special. Not everybody knows about your fragrance. Let's see here. I do. Eric says I do have to say Maison Francis Kurkdjian gives their samples out at a good price. But the fragrances are totally designer level. Yeah, definitely. You can give them a go and get yourself some samples to see if they're worth it. They do have a wide range of citrus fresh fragrances, and some people really like them. So for the summer months, you might want to give them a try. You might want to see if they're worth it, but I wouldn't blind buy them. Some people speak really highly of them, and a couple. Nothing. No, nothing is exactly like. Absolutely, I completely agree. sport version. Sorry, very long name. Let's see here. Let me catch up with the comments. What do you think about men? I love the Noir Extreme too. I'm happy that you do, Eric. Noir Extreme by Tom Ford is one of their best. And I would still talk about Plum Japonais and Italian Cypress, but I think that discontinued them. I heard that they brought them back. It doesn't seem like they're available, so I don't know. Maybe they still are available, but the Noir Extreme still is. So Paul says, "Do you think that the Mansara Cedric Boise hype is real?" I do, and I've probably been a part of the hype. I recommend it first for a niche fragrance, at least on my channel. If you're looking for your first niche fragrance to get into, I kind of recommend it even fairly highly to the ladies out there. Cedric Boise, big compliment. Good. It's actually super, guys. I got that notification about my connection. Is it sounding okay? Is it sounding good? Is everything good? Is everything okay? Sorry about that, ladies and gents, and everybody out there. So, anyway, Cedric Boise, fantastic fragrance, especially when you can get it for about $80. It's at a very good price level when it's around 80 or $90, and I think just about anybody's struggling. We might have to wrap it up soon. We'll see. Dimitri says Chic Shaik number 70 is the green version. It's a bit stinky. Ooh, Dimitri is animalic, but it's weird. Once it sets in the skin after 30 minutes, it's like a buttery citrus. I get them off discount sites. Okay, so the 70, the opening is a bit animalic, but you say it dries down. It's green and creamy and buttery and smooth. That sounds interesting. I'd like to get a sample. We'll have to see. But thanks for letting us know, Dimitri. For 10 people who are still loyal, thank you for struggling through my internet connection woes and problems. I'm gonna try to get a better situation so I can get y'all better reviews and real internet. So if they clone modern fragrances, I don't get it. Bringing back the rare discontinued fragrance is a good thing. I agree. There are a lot of discontinued fragrances that people are dying to get their hands on, and if they ever pop up on eBay or something, people will pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for it. So, there's a market and there's still a desire for some of these. Why not bring some of these really popular fragrances that people still want back? And I've encouraged some people to do that. I've even encouraged companies to bring back, what was it? Midnight in Paris, Van Cleef and Arpels. I mean, there's still people who are crazy about it. There's still people who will want it. And it still might not seem completely discontinued or completely gone, but there's still people who wish it was for sale and wish they could get their hands on it. So Ultra Super says, I was wondering why there aren't clones of discontinued Gucci Envy. Yeah, for sure. That's definitely one of them. I'm sure that there would be many buyers for it. Yeah, that's one of the ones that's really desired. And for sure, I do agree. I do think that there's a market for it. I don't know exactly why they don't do that. I've mentioned that before. I don't. For all I know, Dua or Alexandra don't pay attention to me, but I've encouraged them to. I think they make a lot of money. Orlando says, for me, it's Cedric Boise, Issey Miyake, and Hane Mori. Those are some nice ones for sure. If you're talking about the original Issey Miyake Pour Homme and the Hane Mori Pour Homme, those are both pretty affordable, especially the Hane Mori. Very affordable, long-lasting citrus fragrances. Those are great for the summer. I mean, if you had those, you really wouldn't need any others, really, unless you like aquatics. Those are more fresh, like citrus and fruity fragrances. Not exactly aquatic, but those would definitely get you by. And I don't know, they could be different from the blue fragrances you're familiar with. Give them a go. Look up some reviews. See if they work for you. I'm good with those. Yeah, those are nice. J Horse says, thanks for posting. I enjoy your videos. Thank you, J Horse. I really appreciate you saying that. I do my very best. Again, I'm creeping up on 800 videos. I've been very diligent and very hardworking as a fragrance reviewer, as a content creator, and I really do appreciate you, saying that. It means a lot. I'm still going to continue going. Again, I'm not saying I'm going to quit. I don't know. Maybe in a year, if I have a bigger gig or a better living situation, maybe I'll have something that takes up my time and I can't keep always reviewing, but I'm still going to be active. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever quit Instagram. But as far as recording and especially editing full length videos on YouTube, that's a struggle. Says thanks for posting. I enjoy your video. Thank you. Ultra Super says lagging. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the lagging. I have a terrible internet connection right now, so I'm very sorry about that. Ultra Super. I'm going to try to get real internet in the future. I don't have a good living situation right now, so I'm actually using the internet through my phone, my hotspot. So I actually don't have Wi-Fi right now. Eric says, I would sample Cedroc Boisé. It's not for everyone. I find Mansara to not be very refined in the terms of the scent profile. Some people do feel that way. I can see that. Mansara isn't, I wouldn't say that they're high-end niche, and some people don't feel like they're very natural. They are a little bit overbearing, of quite a few of them, with their sweetness. But if you just, don't smell them too close and just in the air, they last and they project very well. Yeah, some of the people who are deeper into naturals, and if you're more into vintage fragrances and you like that real natural feel, and you like the accords having their own little full body just to the notes themselves, Mansara doesn't do that. So I understand, Eric. That might not be for everybody. Yeah, Eric says for the money I might be worth it though, because you could find full body. Yeah, for 70 or 80. Yeah, you don't have to like Mansara. I know some people don't, but if you're first, I'm talking in generalities to everybody. If you're just first getting into niche, it's hard to beat Cedroc Boisé for that price. Callie's Groom Room, good to see you pop in here. Are you a fragrance reviewer? Your name looks like a fragrance reviewer. I need to catch up with your content. I try to be friends with everybody. I'm gonna try. I have a whole big list that I keep adding more and more people, like 20 new people. I might need to put that in my post. And for the 11 people who are here, please, even if I don't release a video every day, I am going to try to do more little posts like I do on Instagram here, like my scent of the days, and ask y'all questions. So if y'all wouldn't mind, keep an eye out for those. I'm going to try to do those a little bit more often than I've been doing. I used to do some of them here and there in the past, but I haven't been doing them too often. So keep an eye out for that. I love some feedback for questions and all that. Let's see here. Could you tell me the best fragrance that matches the vibe I'm looking for? A dark. I'll just say sensual for YouTube. Mysterious, cool type of fragrance. I think Blackmail is great by Kerosene. That's one of my new favorites. It does that very well. Issey Miyake Noir Argent is great for that. You might love the Prada El Homme Intense version, which is still kind of soapy and smoky. But you want something very sensual. We just talked about Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. Does that very, very well. For sensual, dark, mysterious type of guy. If you go easy on the trigger, it depends on how much you like that sweet rose. But, we talked about Oud Satin Mood by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. That's a great one as well. So there's I've talked about some date fragrances on my channel before. Definitely check out those lists. I've made a few videos about that. If you can find a bottle of it, it's probably hard to find right now, but there's Sensation by Guru. I think that's what it's called, and I really like that one. It's kind of darker and a little bit more of a complex, almost like Ultra Malt by Jean Paul Gaultier. That Ultra Malt still a winner. Some people say it's reformulated, and I think it's still available, but it might only be available online. So let's see here. Hopefully, I answered your question, Zire. Ultra Super says, speaking of Issey Miyake, I finally picked up a bottle of Noir Ombre. Oh, you finally got it. That's a really desirable fragrance in Fragcom. Everybody wants a bottle of it. It's kind of hard to get. You wait for some years to finally get it. It's supposed to be, it's only sold in the Middle East, so maybe it's still available. Maybe the people in the Middle East like that intense amber a little bit more than the average U.S., Western consumer. I'm not really sure, but that's interesting. Kelly Groom Room says, all things men's, including groom. Okay, I'll check you out, my friend. Thanks for popping in. And I do love to give shout outs or at least be friends with just about anybody, especially if you keep commenting. Some people pop in here and just say hello and they say they have to go. And I'm still friends or try to be friends with some of these people, but they just pop in and pop out. And some people have done that like 4 or 5 times and they expect a shout out. I don't know. That's almost kind of disingenuous. You got to be in here and try to be a friend. At least I think you should. Fritz the cat says Elizabeth Taylor passion for men. Dark mysterious frags I wore to bed last night. I have heard really good things about it. I don't remember that fragrance. I might have never gotten my nose on it, but Callie's groom room. I see that my connection is struggling once again. Sorry about that, my friends. Sorry. We're probably going to wrap it up now. Let's look and see if there's any fragrances we need to talk about. Sorry for the connection, everybody. Thank you for everybody who's been giving me thumbs up and who's been showing some friendship with the thumbs up and all that. That means a lot. I don't know how much that does to help the channel, but I really appreciate that. Agree, friendship should come first. Absolutely. Pop in and out. Wham bam. That's how you go. That's how it goes. Wham bam, or that's a terrible saying, but if you know the original version. But let's look at the fragrances. Let's see if there's any new fragrance releases. Hopefully this won't lag my internet even worse than it's already been. But let's see if there's any new fragrances that are out. I don't really know. We'll have to see if there's any new ones that look interesting. There's a new Caron fragrances. I know some people out there really like the Caron. The Miguel du Bonheur. My French is terrible. Please forgive me. I saw that one pop up. Brand new fragrance. April Aromatics has a new lavender fragrance called Lavande de Luce. I don't know. Maybe it's a gourmand lavender fragrance, or maybe it's just means delicious lavender. There's a new brand. It looks like a new company. The brand is called La Perla Hot. My French is terrible. Hot. Let's see the new fragrances. Oh, yes, we definitely have to mention these. There's 3 new Zaharoff fragrances. I think all of these are collaborations with perfumers. There's the Siren. I'm trying to remember who. I remember seeing some of these. I think Business Over Pleasures, like a fragrance collaboration with TLTG. How excited are y'all about these? I could look over the notes of each one. Brass and Soul is. I can picture his face. My mind. Well, I'll look. It'll probably let us know. Do y'all want to hear about the individual notes of each fragrance? Says thanks, Paul. Absolutely. Let's look over these. If y'all have a little bit of time, some people are probably going to be excited about these. And then we'll talk about some other brands. There's a brand called Mango that has one called Sardinia, which is always, probably Italian inspired and looks good. Okay, so the Siren is supposed to be warm, spicy, woody. This has ginger, cardamom, coriander, almond, leather coffee, dark chocolate, moss. Some moss, some patchouli, some cognac, some Lorinox. I'll have to look up what that is later. Okay, so this is in collaboration with Curly Scents. I keep getting the Curlies mixed up. Is this I don't know which Curly this is, but anyways, it does look like a good fragrance. It has notes that I like, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be feminine, maybe it'll be unisex. I really don't know. But I do like ginger. I know that I like coffee and ginger and cognac in a fragrance. So let's look at the rest of them. They got 2 more. Hopefully my internet's not as bad as I worry it is. Let's catch up with the comments while it's loading. And no new comments. Okay. Well, we'll go back over there for Grantica. We're talking about these. So come on, load for us. Are y'all excited about these? The Zaharoff fragrances? So the Business Over Pleasure is the TLTG one. It looks like it's clear and see-through, so I'm assuming it's some kind of fresh fragrance. Maybe it's ozonic. Let's see here. It has Szechuan pepper, bergamot, coriander, lemon verbena, lily of the valley. Yeah, it's going to be clean. And iris. Okay, so it's got a little bit of smoothness to it. Ginger. It's got ginger, guaiac Palo Santo, tonka bean, musk, patchouli, amber. So very professional smelling fragrance. It looks like clean. That's what Mr. TLTG was going for. And with the name Business Over Pleasure, yeah, it's going to be more of a professional fragrance. So maybe trying to make the real office fragrance for men. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. I don't know, but it looks good. It looks nice. Let's get to the last one, shall we? Let's see. Loading internet. So Brass and Soul. Here we go. Perhaps it's a limited run with 1,000 bottles. I'm not really sure. Yeah, you think that they maybe if they become really really successful, maybe they'll keep producing them. But yeah, I don't know why you would produce a line like that. It's not like they're making custom bottles for each fragrance, so it's not too hard to put a new label on it or anything like that. But yeah, it's definitely going to try to capture the enthusiasm for the audience of each one of these. Fragrance reviewer or influencer, some people say. Um, yeah, you think that it would, if you they're limited edition fragrances. Maybe he's testing the waters to see which fragrance he wants to release for his own brand in the future. So they all seem to be pretty good friends. They've hit it off pretty well with George, and George is a cool guy. So I'd like to mix up. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Fritz. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Might be thinking me naughty over there. Fritz says, I'm curious, but I have 4 Zaharoff already. Yeah, some of us might be going all the way, all the Zaharoff fragrances. Wheel in the Sky keeps on turning. Ultra Super. Yeah, yeah. I make some ridiculous jokes. Yeah. Sorry about the lag. If you're making a joke about the lag, Charlie Brown is in the house, my friend. He's also a cool Instagrammer. I believe from Brazil down there in South America. Charlie Brown, the cool guy. Welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Ultra Super says, "Yeah, Ben, you might be next." I don't know. I don't know if he likes me enough, and I don't know if I have a big enough audience for that. Maybe it'd be a good way to test the waters for enthusiasm for my soap company. I don't know. But I do like complex fragrances that they never go too heavy, but they do have a full body and a richness to them with like woodiness and leatheriness and booziness. So maybe like a play on light and dark. So that would be really fun. So I have something almost fresh and clean, something that almost is sour, and then it kind of goes into a unique gourmand element. I have some really fun ideas, and I've already written down like 100 fragrances. I wanted, some people they have the access or the money, they have the availability to do all these things, and they don't have and they have the money. And some people like me don't have the money yet, but all the ideas. I have like 100 fragrance ideas, and they're unique fragrances. Nothing on the market's like it. So, no, you should be next in line. Oh, you think I should be next in line? Yeah, I don't know if I have a big enough audience, and I've been friendly to George, but I don't know. We don't talk very well, and we don't talk often. I don't know, but that'd be cool. It'd be fun. I don't know. Maybe this is something he's going to try to do with all the fragrance reviewers who are I don't know how big you have to be or how much of a friend how well you have to know him. Some of these people seem to live in New York or these bigger cities, and they can kind of meet up and get a hold of each other a little bit better. I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere, as y'all can tell with this bad internet. Okay, but thank you for that encouragement, Ultra Super. Let's look at the rest of these fragrances and wrap it up tonight. Thank y'all for being a friend so far. For the people who are here, we've had a lot of good fun. So there's a new brand came out. The brand is called Mango. Again, they have that one called Sardinia that looks good. There's a new Zegna fragrance. I think that's how you're supposed to say it. It's not Zegna. I think it's Zegna. It's the new Essenze Javanese Patchouli Eau de Parfum. So a patchouli fragrance. Those are usually nice and they're kind of overpriced. Once there's been a couple times where those have gone on sale for $80 or even less. And if you buy those at the right time for a huge discount, because not when they first came out, everybody talked about how expensive they were for the price, and they were too expensive. But then when everybody forgot about them, there were some deals to be had. Sometimes you could get some of those bottles for less than 80 for a little while, and it was pretty nice. So there's a new fragrance from the house of Rice called White Dahlia. Not too familiar with that house. There's a new fragrance from Yves Saint Laurent called Wild Leather. I think there's another fragrance called Wild Leather So I don't know why they decided to go with that name, honestly. Lancome. Ideal, there's a new flanker of it called Ideal Aura. There's from the brand of La Perla. Haven't really tried it, but they got their first, might be their first fragrance just came out. And then they got a bunch of other new fragrances. They got one called Just Give Me Roses. That was the brand we just mentioned. My Day looks fresh. Might be one people are interested in. Are there any other new fragrances? There's a new fragrance from the brand called Miu Miu, or a bunch of new ones. Head in the Cloud sounds fun. There's one called Serial Player. That's a funny name. So let's see. Oh yeah, Naughton and Wilson. Mr. Smelly's fragrance has released a Bon Vetiver. If y'all are interested in a fresh, clean vetiver fragrance, classic and masculine, I've heard good things so far. I don't know if it's been distributed to too many, if people have gotten their bottles yet too much, but I've heard some good things. On Eureka has a new fragrance called Archimede. I've heard good things about the brand. Haven't experienced too much from them, but On Eureka has some really nice looking fragrances. There's the Pharmacia SS. If you're not familiar with this brand, they've been around for a while and they make some good fragrances. These look fresher. I'd like to try them. I like how their bottles look. The brand is called Pharmacia SS Annunciata. I probably said it very wrong, so forgive me. And one called Vita Nova. I think, does that mean, I don't know what that means. The new life or the explosive life? Via Delen Isinso is another one. Let's look at the Vita Nova before we wrap this up. That one looks really good to me, the name at least. We'll get it to load. Let's see if there's any new comments. Let's see here. Ultra says, yeah, Ben, you okay? Alrighty, Ben. It's been another fantastic live. I'll see you. Okay, are you ready? Are you still here with us, Ultra Supra? We're not gone yet, but we'll wrap it up soon. But thanks to the 11 people who are spending their time hanging out with me, Centaur Fragrance, chatting up about fragrance. In the future, let me know if you would like me to change my style, make any additions or improvement. I do want to get a better internet connection for y'all. But I have improved my audio and my camera here. So I put a lot of effort into that. Hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. It's looking all good. It says the new fragrance Vita Nova. Black pepper, caraway, LME, clove, pink pepper, juniper, vanilla, white musk, and cedar. Depending on how it's blended, that's definitely something I could see as a really good everyday fragrance. That's definitely in my style. And it's really funny when you see a fragrance and you kind of feel and you already know that it's for you. I saw one last live or a couple lives ago, and the fragrance was called Sin of Heaven. And I looked at the notes after I already knew I was going to like it. And I looked at the notes. I was like, I knew it. That is the kind of fragrance that I like. Okay, Paul. Great live, great content. Thank you, my friends. I do appreciate you with all the love and the kindness and the good things you're all saying. So stay tuned. I do release videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Thank you. Feel free to message me on Instagram. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. I'll actually message you and be a friend if you need a free fragrance recommendation or just want to chat up with me. I'm not unreachable. I'm not untouchable. So you can contact me there. I respond to every single one of your comments. And I've been doing that for a while. I might not be able to reply immediately, but usually every week, at least a couple times a week, I've commented to 100% every single comment just about on my channel. So unless it's like, a bad comment, like a hate comment. So anyways, it's been a good time. I hope that y'all have a wonderful weekend, everybody. I know that y'all are smelling good. Always feel free to let me know which fragrances you've been buying, what you've been getting into, your scent of the days in the comment sections. When I review something, or tell me your thoughts about the fragrance review. Again, in the future, I'm going to do a few things that are a little bit experimental with how I record. I'm going to record some videos indoors like this. I'm also going to do some outside in 4K, and I don't know if that's what y'all would like recording-wise, but let me know, and it's going to be fun. So have a beautiful weekend, everybody. Hope that y'all had some fun. Sorry about my internet connection. Hopefully it wasn't too unsufferable. And let me know. Maybe in the future, when I do get to a better position, I'll be able to show y'all all kinds of bottles. But I never want to do that to show off. But it would be nice every week, maybe to show y'all something new. Maybe I could highlight a fragrance that I wore that week that I really liked. Maybe that's a good idea. Every week that I have at least one fragrance, because this is a fragrance channel. You'll probably do want me to show you a fragrance, right? At least show you one fragrance. I can show you. I have samples right here beside me. This is Parfum Sportana Bloodflower. This is an interesting little fragrance. Anyways, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I don't see if you are you going to say good night or goodbye or good weekend. Ultra Supra. I'll see you. Take care. Yeah, take care, everybody. I just want to give everybody a chance if they did want to say goodbye. So thank you, Ultra Supra. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Fritz the Cat. Anybody who's still here. Callie's Groom Room. Zaire, Eric, Orlando. Tammy, you popped in here, but you disappeared. Tammy, you're awesome. It was good to see you, though. Dimitri and everybody else, thank you for being a friend. I do appreciate all you awesome people. I'll see you. Have a good weekend, everybody. Be safe. Live well. Smell great. And we'll catch you in the next video. I'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.